إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لله الحمد رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين وله الكبرياء في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم نحمده تعالى وهو جل وعلا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, we are witnessing today the third most populous Muslim community in one of the largest populous nations in this world come under attack. The nation as a whole is provoking hatred and disruption through the introduction of discriminatory immigration laws, while the north of the country is perpetrating open violence against Muslims through attacking them, their property, and their places of worship. There seems to be a story emerging of open animosity and hatred directed towards a people solely because of their belief. This is a very scary scenario that our world is witnessing. Initially, we heard people speak ill of Muslims, and then we saw the emergence of groups that were very outspoken when it came to their venomous hatred towards Islam and Muslims. Now we see this new level that governments are supporting and backing such claims of hatred by creating laws that will make Muslims in their country vulnerable, not because of the color of their skin, not because of the language they speak, but solely because of the fact that they come under the faith known as Islam. Wherever Muslims have gone in this world, we became citizens of a nation, not immigrants. We contributed towards the success of the community, not the destruction of the community. The unique part of the Uyghurs in China and the Muslims of India is that they're not immigrants. They are generation-old Muslims that have been living from parents who've lived, from their grandparents who were brought up in this nation. And so, as I said, there's a whole new level happening before our eyes. And it is foolish if you and I are not alarmed by this uptick in violence and openness against Islam. At this time, where hatred is being perpetrated, and Islam and Muslims are being targeted, it's imperative for you and I to set forth a very clear-cut understanding and message to ourselves, our fellow Muslim brethren, and to the world as a whole. Because this provocation has a very deep purpose behind it. The Hindu extremists of India know that there is a hadith that states that there will be a war in Hind. And so they're doing what they can to provoke a retaliatory measure from any Muslim. May they be a fraction, a group, or an individual. May they be in Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Hyderabad, or even the south of India, so that they can say, look, this is the reason why we want them out of this country. Because their nature is violence. Because their mission is violence. As it's been streamlined here in America through many groups, and then many people in government believe this notion that Muslim Americans are not compatible with American values and the American dream, which is totally ridiculous. And if we sit quietly and allow this notion to fester, tomorrow you and I will get a knock on our door and be told to leave this country, just as the people of India, the Muslims of India, are being told, get ready to leave this country. So at this juncture in time, it is imperative that the right classification of the matter and the correct explanation of what is going on is given, also that this does not become an all-out religious extremist battle. For those of us who still do not know what's happening, even though many well-known night show hosts and news anchors have explained the ABCs of it, let me just refresh your memory. India has passed a citizenship amendment bill that grants citizenship based on religion, all religions, excluding Muslims. Now it has become a law. It is known as the CAA. I don't know if you're a citizen of this country. So bring your documents, and if you can prove to me that you are part of this country and that you're not a Muslim, we'll give you citizenship. The government is creating a distinction between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, and it's imperative that people of all faiths or no faith at all reject this as being not only racist but biased. We heard about the Nelson Mandela movement when apartheid was the norm in South Africa. Today, I'm beginning to understand why the apartheid existed. Because people like you and I remained silent and just observed as it was happening. Welcome to the apartheid of India. Now, if you're looking at me, for those who don't know me, you're looking at me and say, this guy's brown skin and he's an Indian and he's giving khutbah on India because it touches his country. Why not talk about Palestine? Why not talk about Kashmir? Why not talk about Syria? But let me just hold your horses here for a second and say, I'm not speaking this because I'm in India. If you know your history, you'll know that Kashmir was the grounds where what's happening in Palestine was tested. And that you'll know that 200 million Muslims in India make it the third largest concentration of Muslims in any country in this world, behind Pakistan number 2 and Indonesia number 1. This is not a pick and choose battle, and I'm not standing up here as an Indian. I was born and raised in Canada. This issue is grand in the scale of how our world will deal with each other tomorrow. We are seeing the rise of fascist forces that are threatening the very idea of India as a secular, constitutional, pluralistic democracy that treats all citizens equally. The current government is led by a party that has roots in Hindu supremacist movements that believes India should be a nation for Hindus only, and people of other faiths can stay in India as second-class citizens, and they should be physically expelled or eliminated through genocide. Why did Allah send me on this earth? The question we should ask ourselves at this moment, why am I on this earth? I'm not here to worship Allah through salah alone. I'm not here to build masjids and institutions and uphold names such as Muhammad and Ahmad. Allah does not need you and I to worship Him. He has created a creation far more pure and better than you and I, the angels, who have been, are, and will continue to worship Him. We worship Allah because we need to worship Allah. We turn to Allah because our mere existence relies and depends on our turning to Allah. We cling on to our faith because our faith teaches values and a system that will encompass all people and not harm a single person. I am here on this earth because I need to introduce goodness on this earth. I am on this earth because I have to uphold goodness on this earth. I am on this earth so I can die in a state that this earth is in a better state than when I received it. Sadly, none of us at this moment can make those three claims. I can speak more and more about the failure on our part, but I want to focus on three things. First, I want to classify who these people are in the eyes of Allah. And I'm doing it for one very simple purpose. Because in a world where the word jihad has been hijacked, and Muslims have been told that you are jihadists and extremists, it is very hard for the common Muslim person to understand what their religion says at this time. And thus we give room for extremist elements to continue perpetrating hatred in the name of Islam. And so it is due time we take back our faith. It is due time that we restore the correct notion of our faith. And it is due time we do for ourselves what needs to be done for the preservation of our faith. The classification of these people, not the religion, not the nation, but the people who are pushing such measures, by word, by passing laws, or by inciting violence to the Quran are known as Aduwullah. They are enemies of Allah. But remember this, they don't have beef with the individual, they're having beef with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their problem is Allah. Their problem is Allah's way. Their problem is Allah's message being lived by people who adhere to that faith. Their problem is with the institutes that stand for the sake of the people of that faith. They have burned masjids. They have killed over 30 people in this current violent uprising that's happening in Delhi. Now I'm classifying only for one reason. Because if we don't talk about this, you're going to hear very soon messages come from the caves of Bora Bora or in Syria saying these are kafirs and we need to wage war. Remember, brothers and sisters, this is what those people who are architecting this plan are waiting for. That Muslims rise up and say there is a jihad. And as we remain silent, we are going to dig our own grave because of it. What is an enemy of Allah? An adu is an enemy of Allah in His way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala classifies the devil also by name as being the enemy of Allah. There are many verses that speak about who an enemy of Allah is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in one verse, which is verse number 98 of chapter 2, مَنْ كَانَ عَدُوًّا لِلَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ وَجِبْرِيلَ وَمِيكَالَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَدُوٌّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. Whoever becomes the enemy of Allah, His angels, His messengers, Jibreel, Mikael, then Allah is the enemy of those who reject Him. Allah did not start a fight here. Allah did not provoke a fight here. They are provoking a fight with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their rejection of the existence of the faith, even if it's not in them, classifies them as open haters of the people and the people of the faith. None of us have the right to classify anyone as a kafir. I want to make this message very clear today. Why talk to a Hindu? They're kafirs. Remember these words. These are the words that Islamic extremists want you to speak. And these are the words that those Hindu extremists want you to speak so they can hear it. We do not classify a people through our faith as one body. We look at individuals as individuals. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not look at Quraysh as kuffar. He did not say all of them are Abu Jahl or Abu Lahab. He looked at all of them as human beings, and from them emerged Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala. And from them emerged many great noble Sahabis and Sahabiyat. So number one, the classification of these people is they are enemies of Allah. Their hatred towards a Muslim is their hatred towards the Allah that's inside that Muslim. The question number two is, what do we do? We have not gotten there, brother. We have not gotten there. Please be patient. What do we do with people who harbor hatred against us because of our Islam? The one thing we will not do is tit for tat. They killed Muslims, doesn't mean we kill them. They broke a mosque and burned a mosque, it doesn't mean we burn Hindu temples or gurdwaras or anything else. A beautiful article I read this morning. In one of the districts of Delhi, Muslims surrounded the temple to ensure that no Muslim retaliates on them because of their faith. Islam is teaching maturity, brothers and sisters. Islam is teaching to look out for the good and not to become retaliatory in nature. Remember what I said in the beginning. Now I'm going to get to your question. When they have beef with Allah, Allah will take care of them. Remember this. When they are at war with Allah, Allah will take care of them. You and I need to take care of ourselves first. You and I need to take care of our responsibility first. You and I need to restore goodness on this earth first. We are not judges of Allah on this earth. Give the time for Allah to do what He's going to do. You and I need to do what we're supposed to do. The fact that, so again, point 2, there is no retaliation. There is no war. There is no open declaration against Hindus. And there is no looking at people of that faith in a derogatory manner. Abu Jahl was one of the greatest enemies of Allah at the time of Rasulullah ﷺ. Fir'aun was one of the greatest enemies of Allah in the history of humanity. But Allah told, informed, educated the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Musa alayhi salam to go and respectfully convey the message. When our emotions get involved in this, we've already lost Allah's help. Our deen isn't based on our emotions, it's based on our value system. So after the classification of them as enemies of Allah, there is no retaliation, there is restoration of Islam within us. And I'll explain that in a few minutes. The third thing we need to do upon classification and the response is to ensure that all places of worship are upheld. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran in chapter 22 verse 40, if those who have been expelled from their homes without a just cause except that they say, our Lord is Allah. This verse is talking about what's happening in our world today. The people, الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ, they're being thrown out of their houses. A lady was thrown out of her house. She pled to them, let me grab my baby. You can burn my house down. They never let her take her baby. They burnt the house down with the baby. الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ, they're thrown out of their house. بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ, there's no need. If he was a criminal, there is a criminal justice system. If there is a law, there are those who are known as police officers who uphold the law. This has now gone to such a level where the people perpetrating these crimes are getting the backing and support of the police. And why would they not? Because the law is allowing them to do this. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ, Allah is saying, if it had not been that Allah repelled some people by means of others, if it wasn't for Allah to give us Islam through which we would create a society of tolerance and understanding and respect and love, لَهُدِّمَتْ صَوَامِعُ, they would have pulled down the cloisters, وَبِيَعٌ, and the churches, and the synagogues, and the mosques in which Allah's name is much remembered. And Allah will help the person who helps the cause of Allah. Verily Allah is strong and Allah is mighty. The fact that we are seeing religious institutes falling, burning, being the center of attack is a sign Allah is telling us when you're being kicked out from your homes, it's happening because you didn't do your part to uphold the respect of people's religions, including your own. The verse is saying it, I'm not saying it. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. Where are those people to restore sanity now? Where are those people to speak the right message at this time? Where are those people to put aside this hatred and pour on this fire the water of goodness? Where are those people? Those people are the people who Allah is waiting for. That is you and I. What is the first step I can take today to return to the perfection of my faith so I can become the better Muslim, so that Allah can defend me and His religion. Does that make sense? What can I do to better my faith in order to restore the perfection of Islam so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can protect me and the faith as a whole? It is all summarized in one verse which doesn't have any relevancy. Let me say it again. It has no relevancy with how we see the solution to be. But Allah saying it's a solution. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never stated it to be solution, but He stated it as one of the final verses to be revealed. And not that only to be revealed, but revealed on the most sacred day, on the most sacred time, in the most sacred season, in the most sacred of places. I am not going into a fiqhi deliberation or debate about this. I'm just saying you and I need to take the solution from Allah's angle and not our angle. In the shortness of time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in chapter number 5, verse 3, prohibited to you are dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, that which has been dedicated to other than Allah, the animals that have been killed by strangling or by violent blow or by headlong fall or by the gorging of horns, and those of which a wild animal has eaten, except what you are able to slaughter before its death, and those which are sacrificed on stone altars, and prohibited for you are seeking through divining arrows. This is a great disobedience. What is Allah talking about here? This is line after line after line after line about telling us food being a grave disobedience if it's consumed and it is not considered by Allah halal. Just keep with me here for a second. As I said, has no relevancy. الْيَوْمَ يَئِسَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا عَنْ دِينِكُمْ. Today the disbelievers have despaired in targeting or defeating your religion. Don't fear them, fear me. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. It is this day I perfected for you your religion, completed my favor upon you, and I've approved for you Islam as a religion. But whoever is forced by severe hunger and with no inclination to sin, Allah is forgiving and merciful. What is happening here? What is happening here? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Arafah, on the day which was Friday, in the season of Hajj, after Asr prayer before Maghrib prayer, where our Prophet ﷺ is supplicating to Allah on the camel, this revelation comes. Today your religion is complete. Today your religion is perfect. It is such a verse that even the Jews came to Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu and said, there's a verse in your Quran. If we had in our Torah, we would have celebrated it annually. He said, which verse was it? And they referred to this same verse. A verse that talks so much about food. And embedded in that verse is the words, today your religion is perfect and complete. Let me summarize it in 60 seconds. The day we as Muslims go back to what is called the right diet, Allah will restore the respect of Islam in the hearts of humanity. This is what Allah is saying. Because your center is Allah. At that day, your religion will be complete. At that day, no one will be able to harm you. But the day we follow our fancies and our desires, we eat what we want, we do what we want, because they say here in America, you are what you eat. When we will continue to consume whatever we want, disregarding the fact of what is halal and what is haram, Allah will remove the respect of Islam from the Muslims. At that time, you will be targeted. Your religion will not be perfect, and Allah's help will be gone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings, allow us to restore the goodness we need in ourselves, and restore Islam to a position of respect and honor on this earth. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. So brothers and sisters in Islam, before you is the beginning of much more to come until or unless we go back to rectify our ship. Our ship is our faith. Our ship is today compromised. The tsunami is coming. The question is, are we willing to stay on the boat or feel that we can swim away to salvation? As we pray for our brothers and sisters in India, as we pray for our brothers and sisters around the world, who are being targeted because of their faith. Let us know that our prayers are only effective if our diet becomes halal once more. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, a person is traveling, they are in a state of destitute, they have disheveled hair, they don't even know anything. They're in a state of desperation, they put their hands up and say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, but their food is haram, their clothing is haram, their drinking is haram. Rasulullah says, فَأَنَّا يُسْتَجَابَ لَهُ. Where is their dua going to be accepted? Our diet is connected directly with Allah's help. Allah's help is only with His religion. Allah's religion is only perfect and flawless and protected when we resort to its perfection. So in addition to getting back to halal diet, which I said in the beginning, has no connection with the subject matter itself, we should do one more thing, and that is, brothers and sisters, vote. Today is the final day of the primary elections, the early elections, the early voting. Tuesday will be the day of voting. There are many bills that will affect Texas, you as a family, you as an individual. Go and vote for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if we undermine the democracy that we have, tomorrow this democracy may be compromised. And the things that we're seeing happening across the pond may happen very well here in America. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who guided us, who mentored us, who showed us what the perfection of Islam is. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad, abdika wa rasulika al-nabiy al-ummi, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. Allahumma ansur الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصرنا على من خالفنا واحفظ بلادنا وأصلح أولادنا واشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا وخذ بأيدينا إلى كل خير وعصمنا من كل شر واحفظنا من كل ضير اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في ديننا ودنيانا وآخرتنا نسألك اللهم من الخير كله عاجله وآجله ونعوذ بك اللهم من الشر كله عاجله وآجله اللهم إنا نجعلك في نحورهم ونعوذ بك اللهم من شرورهم وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون آمين يا رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight, stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heel should be on the edge of the line. Please ensure that every spot in front of us is complete and the rows are formed before we form a second line. There are many brothers who are waiting outside. Let us accommodate them swiftly into the prayer hall.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر